That was the first Valentine's Day I was spending alone from years. Jonathan and I broke up a few weeks ago. I caught him cheating on me. Although he said he loves me, I left him. Also, I didn't believe he does so. I woke up and spent almost half an hour on my bed, scrolling through the phone. But in deep down in my heart, I had a thought that he would wish and surprise me in this Valentine's if he really loves me. That day was gloomy, but not rainy. I went to the living room, closed the blinds, and turned on TV to find something to watch. I was skipping through channels and suddenly someone knocked. Knock, knock, knock. It was so steady. "Jonathan?" I asked and jumped from the couch. "Johnny?" But there was no answer. That's the way surprises go. That's the way I thought. I ran to the door and opened it. I didn't even hesitate to look through the camera because I knew Jonathan is the one who had come. But when I opened the door, there was no one at the door. "Johnny!" I shouted because there wasn't any kids in the neighborhood to think that someone would knock a door for no reason. I felt a cold breeze passing me. "Here," a male voice from inside said. I turned back to see who it was. "Where?" I kept one step forward. With that, the door shut behind me. Lights dimmed. I felt like something is not right. The ceramic vase, which was on the wooden rack in the side of the TV, felt down and clashed. A pale face of a woman appeared through the darkness. I screamed, but I forgot that no one could hear me. I ran to the door, but it was locked. "Darla," I heard a whisper. I was on the floor at the moment and tried to reach the window, but since the woman or the ghost woman came closer to me, I felt I was wrapped tight by a thick layer of cold air, like wrap it in a thick blanket tightly. I couldn't move my hands, legs, or body. I was paralyzed by an invisible spirit. The woman-like creature floated towards me. Her face was so close to me. It felt like I was keeping my face so close to snow. A blinding red light flashed through her eyes. "I need my ring," I heard another whisper. She meant my ring, that one Jonathan gifted me. He has bought that from an antique shop, about a year before. I actually loved that old ring, which had a spooky glow and a diamond on it. I was ready to leave anything to escape from that haunt. I screamed again. "I don't want it, take it," I said. I was lifted. I don't know who did it. No one was visible to seem like they did it. My hand was raised a little bit, and the ring left off from my finger to the air. I was still floating. It was terrible to stay so. My whole skeleton was aching and felt like it's about to dismiss. That cold, airy blanket was wrapped around me once again. This time, it was tighter. I felt like I want to sleep, go away really far from this pain. I tried, but couldn't resist my ease closing. From that incident to the point that my memory continues, I was outside of the house, near the garage. Someone has informed about a noise they heard inside my house. Jonathan was there with few friends of him, and cops. A window has been broken. "Johnny!" I ran to him and hugged him, but his reaction was unexpected. That was the moment I knew that I'm invisible and I'm no more.
Title: Love's Haunting Embrace. It was Valentine's Day, and my girlfriend Emily and I decided to spend a romantic weekend getaway in the historic town of Salem, Massachusetts. Little did we know, our plans for a cozy weekend would soon turn into a nightmare beyond our wildest imaginations. We checked into the Hawthorne Hotel, known for its eerie atmosphere and rumored ghost sightings. Laughing off the tales as mere superstition, we settled into our room, excited for our Valentine's adventure. As evening fell, we strolled hand in hand through the cobblestone streets of Salem, the crisp February air adding to the romance of the night. But as we passed by the old Salem Witch Museum, a chill ran down my spine, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Ignoring my unease, we continued our walk, eventually finding ourselves in front of a quaint little shop called Love's Labyrinth. Intrigued by the name, we stepped inside, greeted by the sweet scent of roses and the soft glow of candlelight. The shopkeeper, an elderly woman with piercing eyes, smiled warmly at us and invited us to explore her collection of romantic curiosities. Among the trinkets and potions, we found an ornate heart-shaped locket said to possess the power to bind two souls together for eternity. Drawn in by the enchanting aura of the locket, Emily insisted on buying it as a symbol of our love. Despite my reservations, I couldn't deny the joy in her eyes as she fastened it around her neck. That night, as we returned to our room at the Hawthorne Hotel, strange things began to happen. The temperature dropped inexplicably, and the shadows seemed to dance and twist in the corners of the room. Emily brushed off my concerns, blaming it on the old building's drafty windows. But as we lay in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. In the dead of night, I was jolted awake by a blood-curdling scream. My heart pounding, I reached out for Emily, but she was gone. Frantic, I searched the room, only to find her standing in the corner, her eyes vacant and hollow. Before I could react, she lunged at me with inhuman speed, her nails like claws tearing at my flesh. Terrified, I scrambled to defend myself, but it was as if she was possessed by some unseen force. In a desperate bid for survival, I grabbed the locket from around Emily's neck and tore it free, shattering the chain. With a primal scream, she collapsed to the floor, her body convulsing as if in the throes of death. As the first light of dawn broke through the window, Emily lay still, her features peaceful once more. But I knew the horror was far from over. Fleeing Salem. I left behind the cursed locket, a grim reminder of the dangers of tampering with forces beyond our understanding. And as I reflect on that fateful Valentine's Day, I can't help but wonder if true love can truly conquer all, or if some bonds are better left unbroken.